Target closing. The locked fitting room. The fluorescent lights of the Target store hummed, a weary drone that echoed the end of another long shift. We were closing, the last few customers trickling out, their footsteps echoing in the cavernous space. I was running the fitting room area tonight, a thankless task of wrangling stray clothes and dealing with the occasional disgruntled shopper. 10 minutes, team, Brenda, our manager, announced, her voice a tired rasp over the intercom. The clatter of shopping carts and the muffled chatter of remaining staff filled the air. I started my final sweep, checking each fitting room, making sure everything was clear. Room after room, empty. Clothes scattered, a discarded shoe here, a crumpled receipt there, the usual closing chaos. But one room, fitting room number 7, was different. The door was locked. "Hey, anyone in here?" I called out, rapping on the door. No response. I tried the handle again, but it wouldn't budge. Locked from the inside. "Brenda!" I yelled, my voice echoing down the empty aisle. "Fitting room 7's locked." She hurried over, her brow furrowed. "That's weird. I thought everyone was gone." She tried the handle, then knocked sharply. "Hello? Can you hear me?" Silence. "Weird," she muttered again, pulling out her master key. "It didn't work. Guess we'll have to break it down." A wave of unease washed over me. It was just a locked door, a simple mistake. But something about the silence, the locked door, felt wrong. Brenda grabbed a heavy-duty screwdriver from the maintenance kit and started working on the hinges. The wood splintered, the metal screeched, and with a final forceful push, the door swung open. We both stared into the empty room. It was completely bare. No clothes, no shoes, no discarded items. Just the stark white walls and the cold tile floor. "That's impossible," Brenda stammered, her voice a hushed whisper. "Someone had to be in here." I scanned the room, my eyes searching for any sign of a person, any indication of how someone could have vanished. But there was nothing. The room was utterly, inexplicably empty. A chill ran down my spine, a cold, creeping sensation that made the hairs on my arms stand on end. It wasn't just the empty room, it was the feeling of being watched, of being observed by unseen eyes. "Maybe they slipped out before we broke the door down," I suggested, my voice trembling slightly. "But how?" Brenda asked, her eyes wide with confusion. "There's no other way out." We checked the ceiling panels, the ventilation shafts, even the small gap beneath the door. Nothing. The room was a sealed box. "Let's just close it up," Brenda said, her voice strained. "We can deal with it in the morning." We replaced the door, the splintered wood a stark reminder of the unsettling incident. As we walked away, I glanced back at fitting room number 7. The door was closed, but the feeling of being watched lingered, a cold, persistent presence. The rest of the closing went by in a blur. We were all on edge, our nerves frayed. The normally bustling store felt like a tomb, the silence broken only by the occasional creak of the building and the hum of the lights. As I clocked out, I noticed a small folded piece of paper lying on the floor near the fitting room area. I picked it up, my heart pounding in my chest. It was a note, written in a shaky, almost frantic hand. "They're watching," it read. "They're always watching. Don't go into the room. They'll take you too." I showed the note to Brenda, her face paling as she read the words. "What does it mean?" she whispered, her voice barely audible. "I don't know," I said, my voice trembling, "but I don't like it." We left the store, the note burning a hole in my pocket. The rain had started again, a cold, driving rain that mirrored the chill in my bones. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong, that something had happened in that locked fitting room. The empty room, the note, the feeling of being watched, it all added up to something sinister. That night, I had a nightmare. I was trapped in fitting room number 7, the walls closing in, the air growing thick and suffocating. I could hear whispers, faint and distorted, echoing from the darkness. I woke in a cold sweat, my heart pounding in my chest. The whispers lingered, a chilling echo in the silence of my apartment. The next day, I went back to the store, my mind filled with dread. I had to know what had happened in that room. I found Brenda in the break room, her face pale and drawn. "Did you find anything?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. She shook her head. "Nothing. The room's still empty. The note. It's gone. I don't know where it went." We checked the security footage from the fitting room area. There was nothing. No one entering or leaving the room. Just the empty hallway, the closed door. It was as if the person, whoever they were, had simply vanished into thin air. The incident became a whispered legend among the staff, a chilling reminder of the unknown. We avoided fitting room number 7, our eyes darting nervously towards the closed door. One night, as I was closing, I heard a faint sound coming from the fitting room area, a soft, rhythmic tapping, like someone knocking on the inside of the door. I froze, my heart pounding in my chest. I crept towards the sound, my footsteps silent on the carpet. The tapping continued, growing louder, more insistent. I reached the door of fitting room number 7, my hand trembling as I reached for the handle. Then, a voice, a low, guttural whisper, echoed from the darkness inside. "They're waiting," it whispered. "They're always waiting." I stumbled back, my heart pounding in my chest. I knew that I was not alone. That something was in that room, something that was watching, waiting. I ran, my footsteps echoing in the empty store. I didn't stop running until I was out of the building, the cold night air stinging my lungs. I never went back to that Target store. I couldn't. The memory of the locked fitting room, the empty space, the whispered warning, it haunted me, a chilling reminder of the unknown. And sometimes, in the quiet moments, I still hear the tapping, the whispered warning, echoing in the darkness. They're waiting.